you.
Well, you wouldn't know anything about that.
I'm just fortunate.
I'm sorry. I hope she does okay. How's Emily?
Oh, she's absolutely. Her strategy is
Good to see you.
Don't go out and won't get.
I am.
Where's mine?
Oh, does she?
That's right.
I went to the Bethel Hanbury dedication.
There you go.
Yesterday afternoon.
Call it an evening, right?
And
No?
everybody
I was
else
going home to go to work.
back to normal. I was surprised. It's the first time I've been in the public school setting.
Yeah.
Everyone's good, yeah.
They certainly less
How's
concerned.
Tristan? Well, he's 3. He's supposed to be there.
Now, are you too heavy?
Remind you, anyone you know?
I got Discovery's letter with your little note on it. Thank you very much. We're going to certainly support y'all.
Just wait.
We're trying to get a little bit more organized.
No. You don't want to be.
So this is the first year where the entire board participates. So we split up all the potential.
Yeah, I still have fear.
First
Well, personal touch.
Some of these.
Nice mail.
Must mail that.
Do you have full-time staff?
Right, they don't.
Was that the guy he and his wife got killed by their son? Was it because he wanted the inheritance or something like that? Or what was it?
Permanent part-time.
So they typically work 3 days a week. Plus, special events.
And then you just pay them for the extra time.
Yeah.
I'm the family manager as well.
They put in extra hours working on Saturday.
I heard about that.
Remarkable what they can pull off. It's not same old.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Oh my goodness. You know they got those rails in Walmart.
Cool. Yeah, I knew that. He had mentioned that's cool. Very good. I don't know. I don't think the mayor's here.
We don't need the mayor to start doing this housekeeping. We're straight across.
I understand. We have the mayor pro tem.
Let's knock out the housekeeping stuff.
My dad was stroke survivor, so it took him a while too. I guess because he couldn't do things that he was used to doing things. It took him a while, but yeah, he's pretty stubborn.
I think better when I'm
I could call him a couple times.
off the cuff. But yeah, like, if I were in everybody else's position, following just a
Ready, Mr. Williamson?
Yes.
Apologies, all right. I'll call to order the joint planning session, Blythewood Town Council special call meeting and the regular planning commission meeting. At the manor, today is Monday, November 14th, 2022. The time is now 5:40 p.m. We'll begin with the Town Council special call meeting. Mr. Williamson, please call the roll. Or, I'm sorry. Mr. Barr, please call the roll.
Councilman Brock,
I am here.
Councilman Bowman,
Present.
Councilman Griffin,
Present.
Councilman McKinley,
Present.
Mayor Franklin.
I'm here. Thank you, ma'am. And Mr. Dubar, was notification and posting of tonight's meeting agenda completed in accordance with state law?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, before you tonight is the agenda. I'll be looking for a motion to approve.
Mr. Mayor.
Please, Councilman Brock.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to make an amendment to the agenda and add a discussion item B, and that discussion item would be titled A-Tax and H-Tax Subcommittee Discussion, just to simply recount or discuss what took place last Thursday night and establish a potential item for the next agenda.
Well, that would be C.
C.
We have
Oh,
B.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yep, okay, C.
Okay.
I didn't flip over.
I'll second that amendment to the agenda.
Did we have a motion? I didn't hear.
No, I just.
I make a motion to
propose-
approve
Thank
the
you.
agenda as recommended with the added
Discussion item C.
discussion items.
Yeah, I'll second that.
All right, it's been probably motion seconded to add discussion item C tonight, discussion of H-Tax and A-Tax subcommittee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. You're looking to approve tonight's agenda as amended?
I'll move.
Second.
It's been probably motion seconded to approve tonight's agenda as amended. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The agenda is approved as amended. Let's join Councilman Ballman tonight for the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father, my God, I just come to you tonight, giving you thanks for who you are. Father, I do thank you for the many blessings you bestow upon us. Father, I just thank you for the opportunity we have to gather here in your presence tonight. Father, I just pray that you will guide and direct all that we say and do, and all that we say and do will bring honor and glory to you. Across the name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. We'll move to part two tonight, executive session per section 30-4-70 of the South Carolina Code. Part A, discussion of negotiations incident to proposed contractual agreements and arrangements. Town attorney. Mr. Williamson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is just discussion for council to make a decision on moving forward with the town attorney, and so we can meet in this room since we have folks here already set up, if you like. But
I make the motion we go into executive session.
Second.
It's been probably motion seconded to go into executive session per section 30-4-70. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. We will go to executive session.
Hello, I'm Mayor Brian Franklin, and I would like to introduce you to the wonderful town of Blythewood, South Carolina. Those who live here take great pride in the history and culture of this town, and I would love to tell you a little about who we are and what we have to offer. Blythewood was founded by Native Americans who settled here long ago, naming this area Doko, which means gathering place. And that's exactly what this town is all about. Located just off of Interstate 77, just 15 miles north of Columbia and an hour south of Charlotte, Blythewood is a town rich with tradition, community, and activities, hosting large events year-round that draws crowds from all over the region and across the state, while also serving as a home to many industries and small businesses. Blythewood hosts numerous town events each year to support the people of this community and display the town's history, recreational activities, and supporting the arts scene. From the large celebrations of Black History Month, the 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Veterans Day, to the annual Blythewood Rodeo, Ribfest, Doco Film Festival, Oktoberfest, and of course, our annual town Christmas tree lighting event. Blythewood has something unique to offer every single month. You might come here for the sporting activities such as the championship caliber University of South Carolina equestrian team, the pristine Cobblestone Park golf course, and our top-notch high school athletic teams and recreation centers. Or you might come to spend the afternoon in our beautiful Doco Meadows Park, where we often host outdoor concerts, a weekly farmers market, and plenty of activities for the kids. Stay for dinner in one of our local restaurants or grab a quick bite to eat at one of the many chain restaurants you will find in our main road before heading home. Blythewood is a growing town, and we offer many benefits to businesses looking for a new home. We have recently partnered with Richland County to set aside 1,350 acres to be used as a light industrial park to attract industry-leading businesses and technical jobs to the town. Blythewood has a unique ability to attract larger industries looking for space to build while still offering many opportunities for small local businesses and eateries to thrive. We have a big vision by anyone's standards with a detailed, comprehensive 10-year plan to get us there. We welcome you to discover Blythewood and enjoy our warm, friendly attitude toward life and each other. Whether you're interested in recreation, business, or finding a new home, we thank you for your interest in Blythewood, and remember, you're always welcome. Hello, I'm Mayor Brian Franklin, and I would like to introduce you to the wonderful town of Blythewood, South Carolina. Those who live here take great pride in the history and culture of this town, and I would love to tell you a little about who we are and what we have to offer. Blythewood was founded by Native Americans who settled here long ago, naming this area Doco, which means gathering place. And that's exactly what this town is all about. Located just off of Interstate 77, just 15 miles north of Columbia and an hour south of Charlotte, Blythewood is a town rich with tradition, community, and activities, hosting large events year-round that draws crowds from all over the region and across the state, while also serving as a home to many industries and small businesses. Blythewood hosts numerous town events each year to support the people of this community and display the town's history, recreational activities, and supporting the arts scene. From the large celebrations of Black History Month, the 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Veterans Day, to the annual Blythewood Rodeo, Ribfest, Doco Film Festival, Oktoberfest, and of course, our annual town Christmas tree lighting event. Blythewood has something unique to offer every single month. You might come here for the sporting activities such as the championship caliber University of South Carolina equestrian team, the pristine Cobblestone Park golf course, and our top-notch high school athletic teams and recreation centers. Or you might come to spend the afternoon in our beautiful Doco Meadows Park, where we often host outdoor concerts, a weekly farmers market, and plenty of activities for the kids. Stay for dinner in one of our local restaurants or grab a quick bite to eat at one of the many chain restaurants you will find in our main road before heading home. Blythewood is a growing town, and we offer many benefits to businesses looking for a new home. We have recently partnered with Richland County to set aside 1,350 acres to be used as a light industrial park to attract industry-leading businesses and technical jobs to the town. Blythewood has a unique ability to attract larger industries looking for space to build while still offering many opportunities for small local businesses and eateries to thrive. We have a big vision by anyone's standards with a detailed, comprehensive 10-year plan to get us there. We welcome you to discover Blythewood and enjoy our warm, friendly attitude toward life and each other. Whether you're interested in recreation, business, or finding a new home, we thank you for your interest in Blythewood, and remember, you're always welcome. Hello, I'm Mayor Brian Franklin, and I would like to introduce you to the wonderful town of Blythewood, South Carolina. Those who live here take great pride in the history and culture of this town, and I would love to tell you a little about who we are and what we have to offer. Blythewood was founded by Native Americans who settled here long ago, naming this area Doco, which means gathering place. And that's exactly what this town is all about. Located just off of Interstate 77, just 15 miles north of Columbia and an hour south of Charlotte, Blythewood is a town rich with tradition, community, and activities, hosting large events year-round that draws crowds from all over the region and across the state, while also serving as a home to many industries and small businesses. Blythewood hosts numerous town events each year to support the people of this community and display the town's history, recreational activities, and supporting the arts scene. From the large celebrations of Black History Month, the 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Veterans Day, to the annual Blythewood Rodeo, Ribfest, Doco Film Festival, Oktoberfest, and of course, our annual town Christmas tree lighting event. Blythewood has something unique to offer every single month. You might come here for the sporting activities such as the championship caliber University of South Carolina equestrian team, the pristine Cobblestone Park golf course, and our top-notch high school athletic teams and recreation centers. Or you might come to spend the afternoon in our beautiful Doco Meadows Park, where we often host outdoor concerts, a weekly farmers market, and plenty of activities for the kids. Stay for dinner in one of our local restaurants or grab a quick bite to eat at one of the many chain restaurants you will find in our main road before heading home. Blythewood is a growing town, and we offer many benefits to businesses looking for a new home. We have recently partnered with Richland County to set aside 1,350 acres to be used as a light industrial park to attract industry-leading businesses and technical jobs to the town. Blythewood has a unique ability to attract larger industries looking for space to build while still offering many opportunities for small local businesses and eateries to thrive. We have a big vision by anyone's standards with a detailed, comprehensive 10-year plan to get us there. We welcome you to discover Blythewood and enjoy our warm, friendly attitude toward life and each other. Whether you're interested in recreation, business, or finding a new home, we thank you for your interest in Blythewood, and remember, you're always welcome. Hello, I'm Mayor Brian Franklin, and I would like to introduce you to the wonderful town of Blythewood, South Carolina. Those who live here take great pride in the history and culture of this town, and I would love to tell you a little about who we are and what we have to offer. Blythewood was founded by Native Americans who settled here long ago, naming this area Doko, which means gathering place. And that's exactly what this town is all about. Located just off of Interstate 77, just 15 miles north of Columbia and an hour south of Charlotte, Blythewood is a town rich with tradition, community, and activities, hosting large events year-round that draws crowds from all over the region and across the state, while also serving as a home to many industries and small businesses. Blythewood hosts numerous town events each year to support the people of this community and display the town's history, recreational activities, and support of the arts scene. From the large celebrations of Black History Month, the 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Veterans Day, to the annual Blythewood Rodeo, Rib Fest, Doko Film Festival, Oktoberfest, and of course, our annual town Christmas tree lighting event. Blythewood has something unique to offer every single month. You might come here for the sporting activities such as the championship caliber University of South Carolina equestrian team, the pristine Cobblestone Park golf course, and our top-notch high school athletic teams and recreation centers. Or you might come to spend the afternoon in our beautiful Doko Meadows Park, where we often host outdoor concerts, a weekly farmers market, and plenty of activities for the kids. Stay for dinner in one of our local restaurants or grab a quick bite to eat at one of the many chain restaurants you will find in our main road before heading home. Blythewood is a growing town, and we offer many benefits to businesses looking for a new home. We have recently partnered with Richland County to set aside 1,350 acres to be used as a light industrial park to attract industry-leading businesses and technical jobs to the town. Blythewood has a unique ability to attract larger industries looking for space to build while still offering many opportunities for small local businesses and eateries to thrive. We have a big vision by anyone's standards with a detailed, comprehensive 10-year plan to get us there. We welcome you to discover Blythewood and enjoy our warm, friendly attitude toward life and each other. Whether you're interested in recreation, business, or finding a new home, We thank you for your interest in Blythewood, and remember, you're always welcome. Hello, I'm Mayor Brian Franklin, and I would like to introduce you to the wonderful town of Blythewood, South Carolina. Those who live here take great pride in the history and culture of this town, and I would love to tell you a little about who we are and what we have to offer. Blythewood was founded by Native Americans who settled here long ago, naming this area Doko, which means gathering place. And that's exactly what this town is all about. Located just off of Interstate 77, just 15 miles north of Columbia and an hour south of Charlotte, Blythewood is a town rich with tradition, community, and activities, hosting large events year-round that draws crowds from all over the region and across the state, while also serving as a home to many industries and small businesses. Blythewood hosts numerous town events each year to support the people of this community and display the town's history, recreational activities, and supporting the arts scene. From the large celebrations of Black History Month, the 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Veterans Day, to the annual Blythewood Rodeo, Ribfest, Doko Film Festival, Oktoberfest, and of course, our annual town Christmas tree lighting event. Blythewood has something unique to offer every single month. You might come here for the sporting activities such as the championship caliber University of South Carolina equestrian team, the pristine Cobblestone Park golf course, and our top-notch high school athletic teams and recreation centers. Or you might come to spend the afternoon in our beautiful Doko Meadows Park, where we often host outdoor concerts, a weekly farmers market, and plenty of activities for the kids. Stay for dinner in one of our local restaurants or grab a quick bite to eat at one of the many chain restaurants you will find in our main road before heading home. Blythewood is a growing town, and we offer many benefits to businesses looking for a new home. We have recently partnered with Richland County to set aside 1,350 acres to be used as a light industrial park to attract industry-leading businesses and technical jobs to the town. Blythewood has a unique ability to attract larger industries looking for space to build while still offering many opportunities for small local businesses and eateries to thrive. We have a big vision by anyone's standards with a detailed, comprehensive 10-year plan to get us there. We welcome you to discover Blythewood and enjoy our warm, friendly attitude toward life and each other. Whether you're interested in recreation, business, or finding a new home, we thank you for your interest in Blythewood, and remember, you're always welcome. Hello, I'm Mayor Brian Franklin, and I would like to introduce you to the wonderful town of Blythewood, South Carolina. Those who live here take great pride in the history and culture of this town, and I would love to tell you a little about who we are and what we have to offer. Blythewood was founded by Native Americans who settled here long ago, naming this area Doko, which means gathering place. That's exactly what this town is all about. Located just off of Interstate 77, just 15 miles north of Columbia and an hour south of Charlotte, Blythewood is a town rich with tradition, community, and activities, hosting large events year-round that draws crowds from all over the region and across the state, while also serving as a home to many industries and small businesses. Blythewood hosts numerous town events each year to support the people of this community and display the town's history, recreational activities, and support of the arts scene. From the large celebrations of Black History Month, the 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Veterans Day, to the annual Blythewood Rodeo, Ribfest, Doko Film Festival, Oktoberfest, and of course, our annual town Christmas tree lighting event. Blythewood has something unique to offer every single month. You might come here for the sporting activities such as the championship caliber University of South Carolina equestrian team, the pristine Cobblestone Park golf course, and our top-notch high school athletic teams and recreation centers. Or you might come to spend the afternoon in our beautiful Doko Meadows Park, where we often host outdoor concerts, a weekly farmers market, and plenty of activities for the kids. Stay for dinner in one of our local restaurants or grab a quick bite to eat at one of the many chain restaurants you will find in our main road before heading home. Blythewood is a growing town, and we offer many benefits to businesses looking for a new home. We have recently partnered with Richland County to set aside 1,350 acres to be used as a light industrial park to attract industry-leading businesses and technical jobs to the town. Blythewood has a unique ability to attract larger industries looking for space to build while still offering many opportunities for small local businesses and eateries to thrive. We have a big vision by anyone's standards with a detailed, comprehensive 10-year plan to get us there. We welcome you to discover Blythewood and enjoy our warm, friendly attitude toward life and each other. Whether you're interested in recreation, business, or finding a new home, we thank you for your interest in Blythewood, and remember, you're always welcome. Hello, I'm Mayor Brian Franklin, and I would like to introduce you to the wonderful town of Blythewood, South Carolina. Those who live here take great pride in the history and culture of this town, and I would love to tell you a little about who we are and what we have to offer. Blythewood was founded by Native Americans who settled here long ago, naming this area Doko, which means gathering place. And that's exactly what this town is all about. Located just off of Interstate 77, just 15 miles north of Columbia and an hour south of Charlotte, Blythewood is a town rich with tradition, community, and activities, hosting large events year-round that draws crowds from all over the region and across the state, while also serving as a home to many industries and small businesses. Blythewood hosts numerous town events each year to support the people of this community and display the town's history, recreational activities, and supporting the arts scene. From the large celebrations of Black History Month, the 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Veterans Day, to the annual Blythewood Rodeo, Ribfest, Doco Film Festival, Oktoberfest, and of course, our annual town Christmas tree lighting event. Blythewood has something unique to offer every single month. You might come here for the sporting activities such as the championship caliber University of South Carolina equestrian team, the pristine Cobblestone Park golf course, and our top-notch high school athletic teams and recreation centers. Or you might come to spend the afternoon in our beautiful Doco Meadows Park, where we often host outdoor concerts, a weekly farmers market, and plenty of activities for the kids. Stay for dinner in one of our local restaurants or grab a quick bite to eat at one of the many chain restaurants you will find in our main road before heading home. Blythewood is a growing town, and we offer many benefits to businesses looking for a new home. We have recently partnered with Richland County to set aside 1,350 acres to be used as a light industrial park to attract industry-leading businesses and technical jobs to the town. Blythewood has a unique ability to attract larger industries looking for space to build while still offering many opportunities for small local businesses and eateries to thrive. We have a big vision by anyone's standards with a detailed, comprehensive 10-year plan to get us there. We welcome you to discover Blythewood and enjoy our warm, friendly attitude toward life and each other. Whether you're interested in recreation, business, or finding a new home, we thank you for your interest in Blythewood, and remember, you're always welcome.
All right, we will reopen into open session for the public. Move to part 4 tonight, possible actions by council and follow up to executive session. Do we have any motions?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion following executive session. I want to make sure I word this correctly, but I'd like the motion to read that this council authorizes Mr. Williamson to reach out to candidate A about our open town attorney position.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second for Mr. Williamson to reach out to candidate A to discuss the open town attorney position. Any further conversation? Ms. Durst, can you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mosley?
No, I'm sorry. For the council, we're going to vote by voice.
Councilman Brock?
Me?
Councilman Bowman?
Oh, I haven't voted, Ms. Durst.
We're going to vote. After you call our name, we're going to vote. Okay.
Yes, sir, Councilman.
Councilman Brock?
No.
Councilman Bowman?
Yes.
Councilman Griffin? No. Councilman McKenrick?
Yes.
Mayor Franklin?
Yes. Thank you. The motion passes. Ms. Durst, will you please call the roll of the Planning Commission?
Mr. Taylor? Mr. Kessa? Mr. Mosley? And Chairman Gorge, I'm sorry.
Welcome, Planning Commissioners. Thank you all for being here. Good to see you all. We'll move to Part 6 tonight, appointments. To the Board of Zoning Appeals, Ms. Nicole Schaffner, otherwise known as Nikki. I had a good session with Ms. Schaffner at Lizard Sticket this past weekend, and we talked a lot. She has a lot of great ideas. She resides over in Abney Hills, which is another benefit, bringing that side of town into the discussion and to the leadership of the town. So without further ado, I want council members to meet. Nikki, would you come to the podium, please?
Good evening.
Good evening. Just tell the council a little bit about yourself and why you want to be on our Board of Zoning Appeals.
Like, wow, you already have a nice write-up from my Civil Air Patrol experiences. I am a 35-year member of the Air Force Auxiliary. I've been in 4 different states, or what we call wings. We do a lot of emergency service activities, aerospace education, and we have a youth leadership program. Actually, our local unit has been to several events here in Blythewood, which is always wonderful that they're giving back to the community. That's a part of our ideals. Professionally, I am a senior operations buyer at FN America for a military firearm program. So I've got business experience. I have my MBA in marketing and finance. And I'm interested in being a member of the leadership for Blythewood for multiple purposes. My granddaughter is in 1st grade at Langford Elementary, and we love Blythewood. We want to see our family grow and expand in this community, and I feel like we need some more diversity on the leadership team to help contribute towards the structure and the organization of this town. We are growing. We need to have good leadership present, and I feel like as a mom and a grandma and a business person that I have some voice in that I can help to contribute.
And a lieutenant colonel in the Civil Air Patrol. Councilman, questions, comments?
Thank you for stepping up and your willingness to serve the community for which you are in love with, just as we are here today. So thank you.
I love to serve.
Well, gentlemen, I don't know about you, but sounds pretty good to me, so I'll make a motion to approve.
So move.
It's been probably motion and seconded to appoint Ms. Schaffner to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, Part 7 tonight, discussion item, possible establishment of council districts. This is something I put on the agenda, the first time we publicly discussed this, because as the council knows, Blythewood, and as you all know, of course, as Blythewood continues to grow, I often evaluate as I'm riding around talking to business people, citizens, checking on storm damage, are we doing the right things by the people of Blythewood? So when you assess your town and compare it to other towns, there are 271 municipalities, towns, and cities in the state of South Carolina. Are we meeting what our peers are doing? Are we doing things the right way? How can we do things better? I think about that all the time as mayor. We discuss it as a council. And so what I did here is I pulled together a spreadsheet. This is, I think we sent it to you all, and I apologize, I just got it out today. But if you scroll all the way to the top, Mr. Williamson, I'll start there. Municipal Association website has this information. If you click on one of these towns, it'll take you to the Municipal Association. You scroll to the bottom and you click View Town Website. It'll take you to that town's website. So I did that with almost all the towns and cities on this list, certainly down to where we are, and I did a few below us because I wanted to get a comparison, apples to apples comparison. So Charleston is this is based on 2020 census data, is the most populous. And it goes down. I sorted them by order. Okay, you can scroll down, Mr. Williamson, to where we are. And I just went across. Do they have districts? Yes. How many district people, how many representatives serve on their town or city council? So if you go down to do kind of a semi-research, just go down till you see Blythewood highlighted in yellow. Keep going to that green one's at the top. Dillon's at the top. All right, what I did to just get a comparison, I just said, I'm going to add 33% to our population. I'm going to subtract 33% of our population, and that population sample would be similar to what we have here in Blythewood. So it went up to Dillon. That's 33% more than us. And if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see the bottom. It goes down to Winsboro, which is 33% less than our population. So scroll to the middle again and look for that yellow block. Yeah, keep going. A little bit more. All right, right there. So that just segment of our towns and cities, there are 30 from Dillon down to Winsboro. So what I did was, what average council population do they have in their towns? And the average is 5.76, which is roughly 6 members on council plus a mayor. Then I said, how do they run their governments? Many have districts, and we're going to talk a little bit about why, and I want to get all y'all's opinion, and then we'll talk about it again and again and again. I'll tell you why I'm bringing it up now, though. So you'll look up, like Darlington has 6 members, and they divide their city into 3 almost equal populations. The state law says you got to be plus or minus 10% in each district, and they have 3 people elected at large. You can live anywhere in the district. Chester is unique. They're the only municipality in the state that has 4 districts, and they elect 2 representatives from each district, which is unique. Nobody else does it that way. And then the rest of us, Barnwell, number 69 there, they have 4,600. They're right below us, right below the yellow line. They have districts. They have 6 council members. Each council member is elected from a district. And then the mayor of every town by law is always elected at large. So I just took a survey of what we're doing. And so 19 of these 30 here, 63% have districts, the towns and cities that are our size, around our size. There are 66 municipalities above us in the state out of 271 in population. Of those, 40 or 61% have districts. And then I already discussed some of them have districts and at large, some of them have wards with 2 per ward. Why am I bringing this up? I've been talking to my counterparts, other mayors in other towns, municipal association meetings or our association of mayors here in South Carolina, and I ask them, why do you have districts? And of course, their answers vary, but they talk about this. When you have a district, you have closer citizen contact. Chances are your representative lives either in your neighborhood or down the street. So it's more personal contact. There's better outreach. So when a council member is elected, you take your dog for a walk, you go for a jog, you take your kids for a walk. citizens know you live there, so they're going to interact with you. That happens in my neighborhood, that happens with Sloan, that happens with all of us where we live now. When you have 6 members as opposed to 4, you have more diverse composition and viewpoints. Obviously, you're electing 2 more people from the town. If they're geographically located in a district, you get a more diverse population. Look up here, there are no women serving here today. That may open the door for that to happen. The quorum on a 6-member plus the mayor would be 4, not 3. The subcommittees would be hugely expanded. Right now, we only have 2 subcommittees in the town. It's a brand new thing we started doing because we can't do it all. I mean, all of us have limited time. We have families. We have full-time jobs. These are part-time positions. We put a lot on our town administrator and our town staff to research for us. They don't have a lot of time to turn that around between meetings. If you're able to put 3 people on the committee, because you're now not in a quorum, they don't have to meet in public if they don't want to. Now, ours do, but you don't have to post it. You don't have to give 7 days notice, 24 hours notice, whatever it is. Subcommittees can get out and do the work because you have 3 opinions, not just 2. And it's better working, better outreach for the subcommittees. And these subcommittees could be like all these municipalities above us. You look at them, they have economic development subcommittees, finance subcommittees, preservation, public safety, public works, intergovernmental agreement committees, recreation committees, annexation committees, and in our case, we could have a manor committee on running the business of the manor. And there would be 3 people from the group of 7 that would be able to do that and spend more time on, say, 3 committees that you're a member of, as opposed to trying to do it all for your citizens, which is what we do today. So I'm looking at improving that. Having said that, this is not a good idea from Brian Franklin that we just need to pass this and get it done, because it requires a referendum of the people. This will not happen overnight, because we have to wait to our next election, which is November of 2023, just for the people of Blythewood to vote on, and it won't take effect for 2 more years until the next general election. So if we agree to do this, we have to do it now, because if we wait till the next election, now you got to wait 4 years. 2 years for the next election, and then 2 years to implement it. So if you see the value, and we talk about this over the next few months, and get your opinions, and then see what the citizens say at the ballot box, then we'll decide what to do from here. I just wanted to throw some facts out here that you're absolutely welcome to go check yourself, look at it, look at town websites. And lastly, before I go into disadvantages, this adds a responsibility for the council members who are elected from their district. And these guys are great. We argue, we're passionate. I think we always get it right in the end, and when we don't, we always revisit it and get it right, both the good and the bad. That's what I believe as this council. But if you have a council member who is not tending to that district's needs, then it's easy to identify that and then put somebody else in office if you want to do that. That's the democratic way. And the vice is true. If you have a council member that's always doing what the constituents in that certain population wants and needs in a community like ours, you're going to keep that person in office because they're effective. That's what we do at the state level. That's what we do with governors. That's what we do with senators and congressmen at the federal level. You vote, you put your vote in the ballot box based on what you think, if the person is effective or not effective for your needs and your family's needs. Disadvantages. Right off the bat, if you divide into 4 or 6 districts, you're going to have rice bowls, or what they call fiefdoms, where council members are always going to put their district in their back of their mind ahead of others, but that also brings compromise. In order to do that, you're going to have to compromise with other district representatives in order to come to a collaboration, a consensus, and an agreement that is best for the overall community. So to me, it's healthy. I think that's why the vast majority of populations above us do it, because of that very reason. So you come to an agreement, it's good for the town, and it's still up to the majority. But that is a disadvantage, the rice bowls, fighting amongst yourselves. Right now, we're all at large, which is fine. You catch any one of us in the grocery store, you can tell us your problem. We're going to bring it before the full committee and talk about your problem. If you have a district, it's more personal, in my humble opinion. So just something to think about. So leaders up here only have so much time and talent, same as Planning Commission, BZA, BAR. You only have so much time and so much talent. We can channel it better if we get the districts right, if you say you want districts. If not, if you want 6 members instead of 4. And you have more people, more energy, you can make more subcommittees, and you can make progress faster. Right now, it's a snail's pace to get through the governmental process. But if you have committees bringing reports, and we're getting more actionable information, we can make timely decisions faster than we're doing it right now. We've all set it up here. Blythewood's now grown. 2,200 in the 2010 census, now we're 4,700. It's actually probably bigger than that now, yes, the Census Bureau. That census was already 2 years ago. You've seen the houses go up like I have. We've got Adney Hills. I don't know how many are going there, Mr. Williamson, if you want to blurt it out, but I took a jog down there the other day, and they've got just as much property cleared off, ready to put new houses in as they already have on the ground, it seems like. Those people will now be part of the community. I'm working hard as I can to get Blythewood Farms to annex into the town. That's another 500 families that, if we annex, will be part of the community. Blythewood's growing. If annexation goes the way I would like it to go, and we all of us, some of us, I don't want to speak for everybody, if I would like to see annexation, if it comes to fruition, you're going to grow out boundaries, you're going to add families to the community, and you're going to need more than just 4 representatives. That's just too much for those people to do. In my opinion, you need those districts in order to have a personal contact that you can call, tell what your needs are, your wants are, your visions are, and they bring it to the council. So, enough said about that, but why am I saying it? Because if we decide on it, we can put it on the ballot next November, and then a referendum of the people, they have to vote. Anytime you change anything to do with your form of government, the people have to approve it, as it should be. So I just put that out there, and I'll open it for discussion. Let's see if I get any other. So lastly, we got to be proactive. I'm always, and this council's always interfacing with SCDOT, Richland County, Parks and Recs, that they need to be more proactive. Don't build a school on Fulmer Road, which the next elementary school is coming to, until you expand the roads. Don't build a new high school on Grover Wilson until you put one more lane there. I mean, you know what's going to happen. We know every time we build a school, this happens. So do the infrastructure first, then build your school, build your housing development. And so I want to practice what I preach and be proactive. If we're going to expand, give more opportunities for the people to be heard, and make it more efficient government, then we need to do it at this next ballot and then put it in place 2 years after that in 2025. So that's all I have. So any comments or questions?
Mr. Mayor.
Please, Councilman Griffin.
So I totally agree with you on the district pieces, for the advantages and the disadvantages, and the annexation piece. As you know, I've been a strong voice on annexation with you on that. What I would like to see, if we're going to a referendum, is to go ahead and put annexation on the ballot also, so that we have 2 questions on the ballot instead of doing one at a time. I think we all talked about the 75, I think it's 75% rule, something like that, from a referendum standpoint. So therefore, we can go ahead and focus on annexing the entire 29016 zip code, which gives the greater voice of Blythewood say-so into the town.
Mr. Mayor.
Please, Councilman Brown.
Councilman Griffin, I believe that would be required to go in the 2024 election, because only 2023 would be local. So we have a little bit of time on that. Yeah, I believe that's correct.
You're right, because 2023 is only the people that live in town. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. So, Mr. Williamson, correct this if we're wrong here. If 25% of your population vote to annex, then it goes on the ballot.
I believe that's correct.
And then 75% is if 75% of the landholders in that area that own 75% of the value of the property, they can do it too.
Yep.
But we'll get the details. Yeah. But that's a great point. I mean, if we're going to get ahead, why not get ahead? Or the TIF, we're talking about raising revenues to build a modern park the right way, not just clear the trees and put sod out. But are we going to have a modern amenity center? That's going to be several $1 million. I'm not a pro here, but It's going to be a lot of money, more than we can just write a check for right now. So you'd have to put on the referendum a tax, what's the TIF?
Tax financing.
Increment financing, thank you. And that'd be a one-time thing where you would put a levy on all the citizens of the town, but that's got to be a referendum. That's not me. That's, do the citizens want that? And if they vote for it, then the next cycle, it goes into effect. And when that money it's a finite amount of money, and when that amount is raised, it stops. And then there's a penny tax option we haven't explored, where all the transit people coming through Blythewood off I-77 stop and buy chewing gum, chewing tobacco, cigarettes, gas, Coca-Colas, and they're putting that money in the coffers too. Many ideas. All I'm saying is, if we get ahead and we're visionary, like we're trying to talk about right now, you put those things on the ballot in the coming 2 years, and then see what the people want to do. But if we keep talking about it and keep kicking the can down the road, it's just not going to happen. And then we're only going to have to grow step by step, clear the trees. The next year, put the sod in. The next year, put the drains in. And it just takes a long period of time. But thank you for that comment. Thank you, Councilman Brown. Any other comments? So I just wanted to open that conversation. Please think about it. Same planning commissioners, everyone in the audience and listening at home, talk about that and let us know at our next council meeting or December's council meeting or January's, just so we have enough time to put these things on the ballot so that all the people can decide. Other comments? Planning commissioners, comments? I know I ambushed you with that. I apologize, but I just wanted to get the idea out there and then go back and then come back with ideas and. Any other comments? Former Mayor Bailey, welcome, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen. I was just listening to what you just said, and I think annexation, what will happen with districts? You're going to either pre-draw the districts or have to redraw the districts as you expand based on the population. So those two pieces, really, annexation should be first, and then the districts, or simultaneously at least, because then you don't have to go back and reinvent the wheel, so to speak. That's it. That's the only thing that came to mind.
That's a great point. Thank you. Okay. Hearing no more comments, we'll move to Part B, the proposed design and redesign of athletic fields for Doco Meadows Park. Mr. Williamson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At the last meeting, looked at the proposed design of the existing soccer field and then also the property across the street, and requested to bring it back for this meeting to get input from the Planning Commission as well. And I have paper copies also for the Planning Commission. And everyone, I think.
Sir. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if you let me, I can just kind of orient to what's shown here. And so if you look where you have, just oriented like I have it, where the green soccer field's on the right, that's the existing soccer field right out here, and it will just be regraded And originally, the proposal was to put restrooms kind of closer towards Doko Manor. You can see that in kind of the dark area. But Mayor Franklin requested to move them over to where you see in the red, and then they proposed that as another possible location for putting restrooms. But this is a regulation size soccer field with bleachers, and it would include lights. And then as you closer to the south, you see the smaller soccer fields for youth soccer. And then across the road would again be smaller soccer fields shown. And that is a proposed restroom. Those are picnics. Those little pair rectangular sections there are just kind of picnic platforms with shelters. And then, of course, we have the pond there, and then there'd be an extension of the nature trail around the pond, and then circling back to the parking lot, basically taking the entire perimeter of the property, just to kind of get everyone oriented on what's being proposed.
I'll orient it north.
Correct.
Anyway, the fields, as we're talking about, Councilman Brock made a good point. This white area was originally meant to be like cement with permanent bleachers, but we would make that grass and put skids on the bleachers so you can move them out of the way, and it's more space, more usable grass. The restroom, I didn't like it here because you already have the manor across the street. I mean, put it here. We tried to put it up here, so the fields over here, when they're finished, would have access to it in addition to this field. But this is probably the closest place we can get where it won't interfere with parking and other things. So again, this is a design stage, open to all good ideas. We don't monopolize good ideas. At the walking trail as it goes now, it goes up and turns before McLean Road. We would extend it across, and this part right here that goes over the swamp would be an actual boardwalk. So it would be wooden structure like they have some of the beaches, some other areas you all have seen, to enjoy that nature back there as it exists. Swamp, the birds, the creatures back there, and all the way around. So it'd be a great investment for outdoor space, which we value as a council and the town asks for. These smaller fields, multi-purpose. A lot of the baseball and softball players, they just look for places to practice. They play on the fields, which is wonderful. But trying to get that schedule of 30 teams to practice on 3 fields twice a week, it's almost impossible to do unless you have your kids out here until 11 o'clock at night, and nobody wants to do that. So we listen to this little building up here, just to the west of these 4, is a future proposed another bathroom. Well, these things are expensive, so that would be the final phase if there ever was one right now on the plan. But more parking here, more open green space, and I've had people ask me about trees. You're just going to clear the trees. What makes you any different from a developer? Well, I looked that up because I'm not a scientist, but grass and sod puts off more oxygen than trees do. So, and it's based on a measurement of the area. So we're not being unsustainable. We're actually adding to the oxygen in the air. I understand that concern. I get it. And if we can leave some trees around the periphery, absolutely. I'm not against that at all. But the swamp would remain intact. We wouldn't want to drain it and do all that, which you could do if you have all sets with the state. But we want to enjoy nature as best we can, in my opinion. So leave it and put a boardwalk through it. I think it'll be fun. Any questions about all that? Now, the fun part is going to see how much all that's going to cost. Yeah. But again, like we talked about being proactive, this council's leaning forward. And if we hadn't bought that property, it would have been sold very soon. And I wish we could afford some other property that's very near to where we're sitting right now. But unless the people vote for a referendum to do a TIF or something like that, our hands are kind of tied. You can't spend what you don't have, and we don't want to do that. So we're open to ideas in that regard as well. Comments, council members? No, y'all are easy tonight. All right. Hearing none, we move to Part C, the Hospitality and Accommodations Subcommittee Report. That's Councilman Brock and Councilman McHenry.
Go ahead, Brock. Thank you, Councilman McKendrick. On Thursday night, what day was that? 10th. Yep, the 10th. Councilman McKendrick and myself hosted a meeting here to kick off I don't want to call it a rewrite, but a future recommendation to this body to streamline the H-tax, A-tax recommendations and to draft and recommend a policy that would outline the rules and regs that all the applicants would be subject to. It was not as well attended as I would have liked it to have been, but that's okay because we did have good discussion. We talked about, setting up potential segments, buckets, how we want to prioritize fundings, how we want to. I'm trying to live with a blank, Rich, but one of the things that we are looking to do is capture some of this revenue that's coming into the town, whether it's state accommodations, local accommodations, hospitality tax, and earmark it for future projects. Mr. Mayor was talking about the project across the street. It's in the millions. There's no getting around that, especially in today's environment with rising costs, labor, materials, interest rates, whatnot. It's going to be expensive. You have big ideas, they come with big price tags. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is monies that is allocated to this municipality from the state and that we collect locally that can be used for these projects. The problem is we don't get it all in 1 year. And if we don't start allocating monies toward capital projects and capital improvements, we're not going to get there. Sure, we can raise taxes. Not really a big fan of that. I'd rather take the monies that we have, start saving some, with a goal in mind, not saving just to save. We have to have a plan. And with that plan, when everyone agrees or gets on board, and even if we don't all agree, that's okay. But if enough of us get on board and we agree, then we execute the plan and we establish policy so that we can achieve the goal that we've laid out. If the goal is a recreation complex, then that's our goal. Our job is to tell us, hopefully, how to get there. I don't want anyone who's listening, who attended Thursday night, or is listening here tonight, or hears this online, to think that we're going to come in and we're just going to just cut you down to the bone. No. But when this council makes a move to achieve a goal that benefits everybody in the community, not one section, not one group, not one individual, then we all have to make a little bit of compromise along the way. And we want feedback. We want people to come to us, to email us, to call us and say, hey, maybe I don't like this particular way you're doing this, or here's a better way to do it. Councilman McKendrick and I are not the be-all, end-all. We do have some business background. But it's not just the town that we're looking out for. We want to make as many people as we can happy. Impossible task, I know. But at least that's the goal on this journey. I think this town gives away way too much money. I think we can get a better return on the monies that we have. The five of us up here are not going to all agree on the best direction, but we can reach a compromise. We can find ways to support the community while enhancing the community. I've said enough. Councilman McKendrick.
No, I thank you. I agree with what you said. Our meeting was, I'll reiterate the purpose of being a transparent conversation. We invited all the H-tax applicants to come, and we shared some of what the subcommittee is looking at doing and presenting back to council to have certainly a larger conversation. And several of the topics we've talked about tonight kind of play into that. The athletic fields, the mayor just walked you through. The property we just purchased with hopes to develop in some way. 2 years ago we did a stakeholder survey, and we asked the citizens of 29016, to your earlier point, Councilman Griffin. We didn't only focus on Blythewood, we looked at 29016, the zip code, and we got feedback from that zip code. Overwhelmingly, they want recreation space. They want space for their children to be able to go practice within 29016. So often we're going outside that zip code for our children to practice on the fields they need and recreation. And they wanted a walkable community. The results for that, and people took the time to type responses of towns they grew up in, and Blythewood from years ago, and the community feel, and what it takes to get there. We just completed a comprehensive plan and added those elements back in the comprehensive plan. So town government is forward-thinking in developing and accommodating a growing population. I know former Mayor Bailey is in the audience, and he was part of the team that was responsible for the building we're sitting in. And at the time, may not have been a popular decision because of the debt that was incurred. I said Thursday night at the meeting, it was so refreshing several months ago to have the bond company stand before this council and yield to a request that our administrator made to release us from percentages of guaranteed income on servicing our debt. That's progress. So part of a whole conversation, and I'll allude back to what Councilman Brock said, part of a larger conversation is for years the town of Blythewood has received H-tax and A-tax, and we have kind of treated that income, which truly belongs to the citizens because it was paid in a tax and comes back to us that way. And we've treated it that we were going to try to give the whole back to those organizations, nonprofits, for-profits that were interested in putting on those special events, very much like Oktoberfest, which just happened due to a weather reschedule, just Saturday and Sunday, and it was nice to see people out in the park and enjoying it, and part of the H-tax that was awarded went to support Oktoberfest. But we have to take care of ourselves at the same time. And it's kind of like ripping the Band-Aid off, because I made this point Thursday as well. Once this council makes some hard decisions and plans for the future development, and it's a multi-pronged approach, there's going to be a little bit that we're going to recommend come from H-tax and A-tax. There's going to be some that we recommend come from other avenues, other buckets, as Brock said earlier, because economics plays into this. So you're not going to solve all the issues with one answer. It's going to be a multi-pronged approach. So 5 years from now, when we're looking at H-tax, A-tax applications, there may very well be that percentage already set up that the town pays its citizens first, and then we look at other ways of bringing activities and events into the town. Right now, the mayor's desire is on a monthly basis. I think both can be achieved, but it is hard for applicants to come, and when we had 22 that we approved in this current budget year. And when we have to be ahead of next budget year. So if you're not forward thinking enough, very much like the mayor talked about districting, if we don't get that started now, you're not going to be prepared for it 4 years ago. If we don't have this conversation now, we're going to have 22 applicants for H-tax in the 22-23 budget. And we'll be looking at 23-24 to have this conversation. So, subcommittee is working. Had that first meeting. Everybody Planning Commissioner Gorge was there. I appreciate his input from Camp Discoveries and the Historical Society. Everybody is interested in their specific event, whether it's golf, whether it's Camp Discovery, and no one wants to see a retraction of funds, but in order to accomplish a larger vision for the town, that may be what happens. And like I said, when you get 2-3 years on the other side of it, that percentage is already established, very much like our debt service. No one questioned those percentages. It was a budgeting item. You took it out and you moved on. That's kind of where we're going. So transparency, open communication. Please call any councilman up here, particularly myself and Brock are on this subcommittee, and we'll be presenting an application rewrite as well as trying to hone in on some specific percentages. But we want it to be an open dialogue. We do not want it to be a one-sided conversation. So I know that was a lot, but that's what we're attempting to do.
Yeah, one last point, Mr. Mayor. If it pleases this council, I would like to have an item added to next week's agenda so that Councilman Kendrick and I can work on a rewrite on the application process and update and streamline that document. Just putting that out
I
there.
have a question, Councilman Brock.
Sure.
Will your proposal make it in time for the open application date?
That's why I'm sprinting to Monday. Mr. Williamson, does the application period open December 1 or January 1 or December 15, or has that not yet been established?
I don't think it's really established, but so last year, I think 2 years ago, it ended on January 31st or February 1st. I think it started around early December and ran through, and then we backed it up to where it was January. Essentially, we got it out, I think, the end of December, January 1st to the end of February, which I think allowed plenty of time for staff to review and get organized for the budget. So it's not, so I guess somewhere in that window. So I think, there's certainly time, but we still need to get that moving.
Yeah, I was operating on the assumption that the application period would start December 1, but even if it opened December 15, that's still before our December meeting as it currently stands. So we could address it next week, or we could have a special call meeting.
Or we could,
or push it to January 1.
Push the effective dates forward while council.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are we all in agreement that we're talking about a 60-day window here for applications? That's kind of what we've done historically.
That is. I think that a lot of applicants maybe allow more time this time since it'll be different, but I don't think it took that much time for the previous applicants to get their application together, but I think that's what they expect.
Okay. Well, it's my position, and I can probably speak for Councilman Kendrick on this as well, to actually make the application simpler and easier to complete. At this point, I think we should almost ask for a little bit less than we're asking for. And we can talk about this offline, Mr. Williamson, but the goal is to make it easy, because as Councilman Kendrick alluded to, we had 22 applicants that applied and were funded. I expect more this year. If we don't have any more, so be it, but I'm anticipating more applicants, so making things a little bit easier for staff, for us, if we so choose to review, I think would go a long way. Does that answer your question, Councilman Griffin?
Yes, sir. Yep.
And Mr. Mayor, one last point. We did drive home the fact that now is a good time to be doing this. We have another restaurant getting ready to open. We have Frank's Car Wash getting ready to open. There are continued income streams into those pockets, those pots. So Blythewood is uniquely poised to get this set up now.
I think it's a great idea. My preference would be to bring it at the next meeting and let all, because all due respect to our colleagues on the subcommittee, us three haven't seen what we're talking about. So we need to have a work session, which we could do at the next meeting, at town council meeting, and then talk about it. Put our druthers in, agree or disagree, before we then launch it for a vote the following meeting. But yeah, we just have to decide, are we going to push the deadline, the application deadline, or are we going to hurry this up? And we could probably do a special session, but it might have to be a weekend, and Thanksgiving, folks are traveling, Christmas, but yeah. But I think the next step is we bring what you all have ready at the next meeting. Can y'all do that
Well, the answer to that question is yes.
Okay.
And the follow-up to that would be, since it's an internal policy, I'm not sure it needs a vote. We've kind of taken a vote in the past. I believe it would be more symbolic. I mean, that might be a legal question, but we're not codifying it, so I don't know if we actually need a vote. If everyone agreed, then we could vote that night if you wanted to have a vote.
Right, but you're assuming everybody's going to be perfectly happy with everything you're putting on the paper.
Well, that's why we have a discussion.
Right. So I think we do need to codify it, because that's why we have a subcommittee to bring it to the committee of the whole and then make a decision.
So, does that require 2 readings?
Go ahead, please.
Will there, to the committee or to yourself, will there be another session for public input? Once we review it and we're somewhat okay with it, will there be another opportunity for public input?
Town council meeting, when we bring it up, right?
Certainly. Well, number 1 would be a week from today.
Yeah.
Number 2 is, we've had 1 public input session.
But they haven't seen the proposal. I
understand that, but if we have a quote-unquote mini work session next Monday, and then the week after Thanksgiving, or we could have a joint PC town council meeting in December that could serve as a work session there, soliciting public input, and then have a meeting, if we need to do a Zoom or whatever we could do, just to get a vote on the record. There would be time before December 31st.
Yeah,
that's what you're asking.
I think you're right. I think it'll all hinge on next week's meeting. You never know. We all may say, this looks great. We all approve, move on.
That's the goal.
Print the new registration, yeah.
Mr. Mayor, if I can just add one brief comment as an attendee to the meeting. I thought it was a very positive, helpful discussion. I think most people there recognized the purpose for the meeting and the need to allocate funds to support the town projects, as well as the desires and wishes of the 501(c)(3)s, etc. I would just urge council to make that decision as soon as possible, just in the interests of financial planning for each of those organizations. That came up, needless to say. Most organizations will have a financial plan starting in December for 2023. So they just need to have some kind of feel for whether there's going to be A-tax, H-tax funds available to apply for or not, or what the likely reduction is.
Excellent point, Mr. Chairman. Absolutely. Hopefully we can hash it out Monday and be moving on. That's the goal. Any other comments? Part 8 tonight, open citizen comments. Anyone wishing to speak? I'll just make a brief comment myself. I tell you, I've never been more proud to be a Blythewoodian and to serve as your mayor. Let me tell you what's happened over this last week. We had Election Day, where I had an opportunity to address the Chamber of Commerce because I read an article that said the most depressing day in America is the day after Election Day. And I'm not telling the joke here. Just think about it. Half your friends are upset, they're angry, they're afraid. The other half are jubilant, happy, exhilarated. So reach out to our neighbors and friends. This is going to be okay. We're going to get through this. It happens every 2 years in America. So I just put that out there. But I spoke to the Chamber about the same issue. Then the next day, and by the way, the council members were all out and about. It was good to see that. I was proud. The Blythewood Historical Society Museum had a luncheon where they had 5 great veterans, one of which, Mr. John Cole, 100 years old, World War II veteran. Mind sharp as a tack. He was telling us stories about his training and what he did in World War II. It was amazing to see. But that was for the Quilt of Valor. Had a luncheon to celebrate them. Friday morning, met with Ms. Schaffner. I think she's going to be a great help to this town, and I appreciate her volunteering. Friday evening, the Range for Hope Adaptive Golf Tournament dinner was held at Cobblestone Park. We went there to see them and celebrate what they're doing. Mr. Alvin King's doing great work, and I'm proud of his organization. Saturday morning, the Veterans Day observance was here. Fantastic. Blythewood Historical Society, again, that board of directors, a wonderful event, and those 5 veterans were recognized as well as any local veterans who attended. Former Mayor Bailey was there, as usual, participating and helping with that, and I thank him. Saturday night, we kicked off Oktoberfest. We had a little bit of bad luck. Rain, kind of a deluge came down for about an hour, but after that went away, there were still, I don't know how many people, I don't want to get caught in that argument, but it seemed to me like a couple hundred people were there having a good time that night. And of course, it continued on Sunday morning. We started Oktoberfest off again. A lot of folks came out. A little bit chilly there, but we still had a pretty good turnout. And we had the Bethel Hanbury Elementary School dedication in the afternoon. Many of the council members were there. I was proud because I went to school there as a kid, and it's sad to see your old school torn down, but it's progress, and sometimes you have to make those moves. Now they have a state-of-the-art, brand-new facility, very secure for our children, and that was that whole gymnasium was packed from alumni from the past, new students, new families moving to Blythewood. And then, of course, we had Miss Jonna Sutton, if you didn't know, who's our assistant manager here, had her birthday party here. So if y'all see her, tell her belated happy birthday. Very valued employee, and I was proud to come and hug her neck on her birthday. But with that, any other open citizen comments? Proud day to be a Blythewood citizen. All right, gentlemen, with that, if I have no other business, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Probably motion and second to adjourn tonight's meeting and turn over to the Planning Commission. Any further comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. We're adjourned. Over to you, Chairman.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll call this meeting of the Planning Commission to order. We've only got a very brief agenda tonight, so we might just as well press on and take care of business. First of all, Ms. Durst, could you confirm that the agenda was properly notified and posted?
Yes, sir, it was.
Thank you. So the next item is approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll second.
And a second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? And we'll use the agenda as posted. Next item is approval of the minutes of our previous meeting. Any discussion? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of our previous meeting? We have a motion and a second. And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Minutes are approved. For the record, thank you. And Mr. Williamson, could you just introduce the discussion item for us, please? Set it up as usual.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just wanted to do a little bit of training for the Planning Commission because there hadn't been, as long as I've been here, a subdivision, a residential subdivision that comes before the Planning Commission, and as y'all may or may not know, y'all have a critical role to play in that, and that you give the approval of the sketch plan. And that's a big responsibility. So I just want, and there are several things in the ordinance that I found, even found some since I sent out the packet of aspects or design features of subdivisions that require some input from the Planning Commission. So I just thought I'd just take the time. This won't take very long at all, but just to make sure y'all are aware that when you get your packet in the future and it says, approval of a new subdivision, that I'll be including this checklist as part of the packet, and just so you're prepared to weigh in on these things. So, do all of you have the little checklist I sent out and the proposed design? If not, I have extra copies if you need it. But so, if you look at that, there's a kind of emphasis on subdivisions and how they connectivity and how they connect with the adjacent subdivision and how they get access, and transportation and traffic are a big deal. And so, and in fact, I've found since then another aspect of traffic. It says that the Planning Commission can require that the developer of the subdivision give up some land for some kind of public use. So that's another aspect that I'll add to this. So if you think about a subdivision, a massive subdivision, say if Blythewood Farms were in this municipality, and you said, well, we need a fire station as part of a 600 lot subdivision. I mean, you could say, okay, pending, setting aside land for future public infrastructure like that, you could require that, and they would have to comply. And so I just want to reiterate that those are some of the responsibilities you have, and but it doesn't. You cannot do things like say those lots need to be bigger, or you can't do things that by right they have to do based on the zoning. But you can have influence and requirements on the layout and the access and other aspects like open space. You can require more open space to provide a playground for the neighborhood, or something that would serve the entire town. You can require sidewalks. The Planning Commission may require the installation of sidewalks when deemed appropriate for public safety. And I just found an example of a subdivision, and probably can't, it's hard to read on the copy I had, but in the top right it says, you see all these proposed lots with the numbers on them, and then over to the right, that you see kind of the upper right corner, it says in small letters, existing single-family dwellings. Well, what that is saying is that they're proposing a subdivision right next to existing single-family dwellings. So Planning Commission could say, yes, it makes sense to go through and access. You see where there's a cul-de-sac where the subdivision ends right next to those existing single-family dwellings. Planning Commission could say, actually, it makes more sense to go through that area based on the unique characteristics of that area, or like it is. But those are just some of the aspects that you would look at. So just wanted to prep you as you see these things coming up, because like the mayor has said tonight, Blythewood is growing. It has several large tracts of land. The Board of Architectural Review has looked at the design of townhomes. It hasn't come to the Planning Commission. They haven't submitted an application for that, but obviously that's pending. So they're on the horizon, and I just wanted to touch base with the Planning Commissioners to reiterate some of your responsibilities that in a thick ordinance you kind of overlook, and when we're mostly dealing with rezonings, we don't really touch on these aspects, but they're equally important. So that's about all I have, Mr. Chair, but I'm happy to answer questions or run through anything.
Personally, I think this is a very helpful checklist. It saves us having to comb through the ordinances in minute detail every time we get a request like this. It helps us to focus the mind and come to a decision in a reasonable amount of time. Any questions from my colleagues on the Commission? We'll look forward to any further additions. There may be more as we gain experience, but thank you for that very much. It's a big help. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So, We also have an open citizens comment if there are any related to planning commission issues. I don't think anybody signed in. Any comments from anyone at all? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting? Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.